Now this is what I call an anniversary special.
Pokemon Ranger, I choose you!
What's up my dear boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here, and I gladly welcome you to another review of the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. Today we will talk about episode 21, Litten, the Time of Departure. This episode, yes, this episode was really good. Forget episode 20, this was the real special episode. This one specific episode delivered the thing I've been missing the most. Something more edgy, something more serious, and this episode surely delivered in an awesome way. If you want to know more, then without any more hesitation, let's get right into the review! And how about beginning the episode by letting the main star of today entering the fray, Litten, who just like always steals some food for his mentor Stoutland. And as curious as always, Ash and his Pokemon had to follow him. And to their surprise, they are witnessing the adorable kitty trying to master Fire Fang. Hold on a minute. Stoutland, who mastered Fire Fang, is using it on a piece of wood, while Litten is using it on a rock? I know that Stoutland is weaker because of its age, but come on, a rock for poor Litten? But during the lessons it's obvious that Stoutland is really sick, and even our normally dense protagonist realized that. But sickness doesn't really matter for the old Pokemon, since, according to Kukui, the training just shows how much it loves Litten. So the next day arrives and Ash is about to go to school, until Team Rocket appears and... well, they can't do much, thanks to worried Litten interrupting them, which leaves Ash with no other choice but to escape from Team Rocket style. Arriving at the scenery, they encounter a collapsed Stoutland and Ash immediately tries to help him out, while Meowth also seems to be really worried about his rival Litten, and is even more worried after hearing Nurse Joy telling Ash that Stoutland will most likely die. They didn't say it directly, but they actually censored that sentence, but it's more than obvious. Trying to do his best to help its condition, Ash brings some food just to realize that both Pokemon have disappeared, and the place to find them is of course under the bridge. But before being able to reach the destination, they get intervened by Meowth, who just is there to tell our hero that Litten is working really hard and that Meowth wants Litten to be protected. Which in my opinion just is another way to say, please catch Litten. And Litten indeed works really hard trying to improve its Fire Fang attack, and after all that hard training it falls asleep and soon witnesses a nightmare which soon would become sad reality. Because he soon wakes up just to find himself all alone. And the next few segments were just so sad and heartwarming, I nearly cried. With the dark undertone, the scenes where Litten tries his hardest to find his beloved teacher, until the realization that Stoutland is gone forever, followed up by a cry of sadness and desperation. And everybody around Litten also had this sense of sadness as well. Ash, Kukui and even Meowth just being sad. Really beautiful build-up of seriousness and desperation. But it can't keep going on forever, and thanks to plot, Litten is all okay now, because the sun is shining and a cloud formed like his friend Stoutland says goodbye to him. After being able to overcome the death of his closest friend, Litten decides to find a new friend and soon realizes that Ash is the chosen one. And to confirm that he is the chosen one, Litten decides to test Ash and Pikachu with a battle. It was really cool to watch, but then they stopped because it was only a sparring match to test how much potential Ash and Pikachu have. And the kitty seems to be so impressed that he now joins Ash in his team. And tada! Ash got a new adorable Pokemon, and Litten got a new family. Even Meowth is happy for him, even though they are now going to be enemies. Meowth, you're cool. And with Litten looking up to the sky, the episode ends. Very good episode, and with excitement in my mind, let's get right into the rating. What can I say about the story? Story-wise, excellent. Since the start of the Sun and Moon anime, we had everything. Awkward comedy, funny faces, and just a more lighter and happy-go-lucky attitude from just every character. And that's why this episode was so good and first and foremost, so necessary. Not only to bring balance and being different from all the happy things, but also to show that the Sun and Moon anime is able to provide something more edgy, something more serious, and something darker. This shows that Sun and Moon has potential to go in every direction possible, even death. Very good. But speaking of death, the topic of death has been handled very good at the beginning for a kids show. Even the censoring was really appropriate. But when the story goes on with Litten overcoming death and being super happy again without any emotional damage left, that's really unrealistic and also felt really fast-paced story-wise. The rest was really okay with Ash's involvement, and I especially really liked Meow's involvement in today's episode, with Meow being worried while at the same time being really respectful towards its rival Litten. But because the unrealistic and rather fast-paced ending left a sour note in my mouth, I will give this episode's story a 9 out of 10. What can I say about the focus? The focus of this episode was Litten and its struggle to overcome the loss of his dearest friend Stoutland, and the topic of death. They handled this topic in such a superficial way, which made the topic itself seem to be more irrelevant rather than important and impactful. They treated death as if it's just a temporary thing and you will overcome it quickly. No, just no. I myself have experienced death of a beloved person, and I can wholeheartedly say that it takes a while to overcome this. You can't swipe off death in one instant. It would have been better and more realistic to see Litten having an emotional and long time struggle, like, let me say, maybe 2 till 3 episodes more, until it can accept Stoutland passing away and then moving on to a new chapter. Not just like that, the same thing happened with the Lily episode. They built up this emotional struggle between Lily and Chiron just to swipe it under the rug by letting it end the most generic way. And this episode is the same. Why is Sun and Moon not able to have a character with long time struggle? I get it, okay? Sun and Moon is more happy and it has to stay happy every time. But maybe for once it would have been awesome to see one character who's not happy-go-lucky all the time and therefore provides some amount of serious undertone into the anime. But Sun and Moon can't have one edgy character, so you know, just forget that you lost your lifetime buddy and move on like nothing ever happened. And I get it, it's a kid's show and therefore can't tackle this topic properly. But then why tackling this topic to begin with if you can't handle it properly? I don't get it. If Litten will have some emotional damage left, then I will change the rating of this episode. But because they handled death in such a poor manner, only because of plot progression and Pokemon being handled as a comedy kids show, 8 out of 10. Last but not least, what can I say about the animation? Luckily, the main highlight of this episode was the animation. There were so many awesome moments, I can't really pick one. The dream segment of Litten losing Stoutland was awesome, followed up by the change of tone by just changing the color filter of the episode was surprisingly effective. During that segment, I really loved this transition of the crying Litten to Ash and Kukui, where you could only see their shadows and nothing else. I thought this transition was fantastic. And of course, we have to talk about the use of symbolism in today's episode, where we see that tree constantly losing leaves, which symbolized the near death of Stoutland. Finished off with the couch breaking under Litten's feet, which also symbolizes Litten's whole world breaking as well. The Stoutland in the sky, very generic story-wise, but animation-wise really cool to look at, and even the battle between Pikachu and Litten was really well performed. I can't really say much, the animation was the best thing in today's episode, 10 out of 10. So this episode scores a 9 out of 10 with the recommendation to definitely watch it. I can't recommend this episode more. One of my favorite episodes of Sun and Moon so far. It would have been my fave episode, the fave episode, if they wouldn't have handled death in this fast-paced and unrealistic way. Still kinda triggered over this, but overall fantastic episode and a serious episode which we really needed. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review just like always, and see you guys in the comment section below. Bye guys!